This is day 18 of Labrynth, Lord Stanley. Tonight featured the Ottawa Senators and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Game 2 at Consol Energy Center. It was hectic. It was loud. The crowd was all geared up. And in the first period, Sidney Crosby dekes. He continued to deke. Crosby scores on a wrist shot that goes straight through Craig Anderson's legs. 1-0 Penguins. Senators kill 2 penalties. Ottawa scores on the power play. And Daniel Alfredson passes the puck to Kyle Turris. Ottawa goes on the power play after Malkin gets sent to the penalty box. And Turris scores on the power play. It's 1-1. Then Sidney Crosby scores again on a wrist shot. He's skating forward. Then he takes the wrist shot to score again. 87 displays tremendous crisp when it comes to wrist shot accuracy and the offensive awareness to generate scoring chances for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we see it night in and night out. Most centers are playmakers, but when Sidney Crosby first started out, he had a sniper mentality, and that versatility, which allows him to rotate between being a playmaker that passes the puck and a sniper that shoots goals, is really potent for the Penguins, because Crosby can also win faceoffs, and, well, he's Crosby, but Crosby tonight, 2 wrist shots in the first period that result in goals for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And you see the offensive awareness and the accuracy on those wrist shots. Then in the second period, Sidney Crosby, he scores on a slap shot, and there's so much open space that he can recognize where the puck is, recognize the opening between Craig Anderson and the goaltender, and he can just capitalize on it. And then Crosby gets his 3rd goal. He gets the hat trick, and the Pittsburgh Penguins go up 3-1. And after that, Greening scores, and the Senators make it a 1-goal deficit. Paul Martin puts a lot of shooting power onto a slap shot. Penguins score and go up 4-2. And they scored that goal when Craig Anderson got benched. Not surprised, because Craig Anderson is the best goalie that the Ottawa Senators have. And Sidney Crosby made Craig Anderson look silly. There's no other explanation for it. In the third period, John Gabriel Pedro scores for the Senators, makes it a 1-goal game, but Pittsburgh, too much Crosby, too much momentum. Craig Anderson, undisciplined, can't handle Crosby, and the Pittsburgh Penguins win Game 2. And the Penguins are up 2-0 now. I'm a little bit surprised, to say the least, because I thought Ottawa was going to push this series to 6 or 7 games, and their penalty killing and goaltending was supposedly better than the New York Islanders. But, like I said before, the Ottawa Senators don't have the offensive firepower that the New York Islanders had in the previous series, and the Ottawa Senators look clueless when it comes to trying to match the Pittsburgh Penguins depth for depth, and Penguins are up 2-0. Not really too much to be surprised about, but the series could end in 4 or 5 games now if Pittsburgh can get one on the road here. And Vokoun is 4-0. One of my readers asked a question: should the Pittsburgh Penguins start Marc-Andre Fleury for Game 3? Yes, Vokoun Matata, or Chris Ransom, you are on drugs. Feel free to comment and cast your vote in the DraftUtopia.com Facebook page. Again, your choices are yes, Vokoun Matata, and Chris Ransom, you are on drugs. Those are your choices for the question: should Marc-Andre Fleury start Game 3? Yes, Vokoun Matata. Chris Ransom, you're on drugs. Alright, thanks for listening to this 4-minute bit. Tomorrow there will be some exciting action in terms of NHL playoff games with Blackhawks Red Wings Game 2, LA Kings and San Jose Sharks Game 3, and finally some Memorial Cup action. I'll make sure to add that in. The 2013 Memorial Cup is underway, and they're going to show replays of tonight's game on NHL Network tomorrow, so I'll take some of the material from that game, watch the highlights, watch the tape extensively, and if there's some good highlights, some good tidbits and material, we'll add that on to the Labrynth to Lord Stanley, just to give our audience some bonus content and some fun, because we're here in the divisional round. It's already May, and there's only 1 or 2 games a night that air, instead of having that 2 or 3 or 4 different games that air at the same time. And it limits our options here at Draft Utopia. Again, I want to thank anyone that's listened to this bit. Day 18 is through. This is Chris Ransom signing off.